How's it going, peeps? It's me, Ozzy. Talking about two things today, both involving the Pistons, obviously, for the title. We'll be talking about Chauncey Billups and his future role with the Detroit Pistons as it's becoming more real, and Reggie Jackson made his return last night. So, without further ado, let's get into the first one. So, for those of you who haven't been following the Pistons lately, because it's been downhill, and our season's practically over with at this point, even though mathematically there's still a chance of us making the playoffs, it's not going to happen. Although we did get to see a glimpse of what our season will be like next year if all three, Drummond, Blake, and Reggie, can stay healthy, of what they can be like. Reggie Jackson did make his return yesterday to the Pistons. He only played about 15 minutes, give or take. He had around 7 points, a couple rebounds, a couple assists. But he took the pressure off of both Blake and Dre. Regardless, we did play the the Suns, and Reggie's still not going to be 100% quite yet. We're not going to rush him back. I think he did almost tweak it again. I think he did go down, but if I'm not mistaken. I know a lot of you guys haven't been watching them. It's been kind of bad to watch. It's disappointing, but our future's gonna be brighter, I think. I know a lot of guys are knocking Blake right now, but at least he's saying he's happy to be here. He's playing like he wants to be here, and this slump isn't necessarily his fault. A lot of guys aren't happy with Drummond right now, and I understand why if you just watch the way he's playing on the court. But I just think that everyone's fed up with Stan Van Gundy. Jackson's coming out with something to prove, though, and he played pretty well for the minutes he gave. I think they just need to take it slow with him. I mean, because don't rush the guy back. I mean, we're not doing anything. And even if we make the playoffs right now, we're not going to do anything. Play Toronto. We never play well against Toronto. We always get beat by them. So, I mean, just it's over. I mean, we're still like 7 games out of the 8th seed, and I think we only got like 10 or 11 left, maybe 12 at most. We would have to win 7 games, and then the people above us would have to lose 7. All right, maybe I think we got it down to 5. I think we're only 5 games out. I mean, mathematically, there's still a chance. This is not likely. But Reggie Jackson played extremely well in his debut since rolling his ankle, I think. In my opinion, it gave us a really good shot at the future, I think. We'll play pretty well next year, depending on what happens with our front office, which will bring us into the next topic. So in case you've been living underneath a rock and haven't been following anything on Facebook or Yahoo or Twitter or whatever your source is, several reports, have come out saying they want Chauncey Billups to run the front office of the Detroit Pistons, and that will probably most likely be the GM role. Now, a lot of you guys are thinking we would fire Stan Van Gundy. Pump the brakes. I am one of those guys who want Stan Van Gundy out of here. But if they just because what they did in L.A., they took Doc Rivers. He was their Stan Van Gundy. He was both the president of operations and the coach. And they brought Jerry West in to make front office decisions, and they basically took Tobias Harris away from us, but that's neither here nor there. Happy to have Blake. I just think right now, since Stan Van Gundy's only got 1 year left, I want him gone. Don't know if Tom Gorse is going to do that. You'd bring in a guy like Chauncey Billups, which I would love to see Chauncey Billups come back to the Pistons. He is definitely one of our favorite players to watch. Every time he comes back, rather his jersey retirement ceremony, someone else is getting retired, or he just comes back to watch the game. Fans in Detroit love Chauncey. I mean, what's not to love about the guy? He brought us a championship. There's a guy named like Mr. Big Shot. And I could definitely see Mr. Big Shot making some Mr. Big Shot moves and trades and all kinds of stuff. He's still connected to the league. He's still got friends and organizations. He's got close ties to people in those organizations. So, I mean, he could make some moves for us. I am curious to see, since he's played with both Drummond and Blake, how that would affect each other. Because they are hogging up all of our salary cap. Between those two and Reggie Jackson, our salary cap is gone. I don't know if he would want to free it up, if he likes the way our roster looks, because we don't have bad players. We just have a bad coach. All of the guys on our roster can play. I just think we're only missing the development from Luke Kennard and Henry Ellison from being a legit threat. I mean, we should have been a legit threat this year, and we were for a minute, and then we just sucked ass coaching wise. Our defense fell apart. Our offense looked stale, and a lot of that's because Reggie Jackson went out. You don't realize how much of our offense relies on Reggie, but I think Chauncey would do a better job of fitting players. Like Ish Smith is a quality guy, but he's not a starter. I feel like Chauncey in this situation would have gone out and got a guy who could fill in the absence of a Reggie Jackson. Maybe he took up and play himself. Hey, you never know. Pull a Jackie Moon, come out there, be player, owner, and coach. But I know a lot of the fans here are looking forward to this. Now, I did see a thing today saying that the reports weren't true, but that was only just to stop Stan Van Gundy. I know Stan Van Gundy said he didn't care about it. But he knows there's a change coming in his position, whether he's getting fired or losing one half of his job, which I hope it's both halves of his jobs. I do not want Stan Van Gundy here. I would be curious to see if they bring in Chauncey Billups as a coach. I did do a video where I wanted him to be my number one candidate to be a coach, but it's more and more likely that he'd just be a GM. It's more realistic, I think, which I'm fine with that. I think he'd be good at it. He might even work his way up to being a coach. I don't know who he would bring in as his coach. His first year here, we just might play out the Stan Van Gundy situation. Let him walk, because he said himself this would be his last team, which I wouldn't mind him going somewhere else so we can get an easy win out of him. But I don't know who he'd bring in as his coach. I would love to see Larry Brown come back, but he's retired. He ain't coming back. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know who we're gonna get. I listed my top 5 candidates. A different video if you guys want to check that out. But rather than that, that's pretty much the news for today. I'd love to see Chauncey come back. It would make the players. I feel like it would make the players play more harder, right? Yeah, and it would motivate them because he actually has the championship. Stan Van Gundy's already got this negative image where Dwight Howard didn't want to play, and Dwight Howard left him. And then after Dwight left, Orlando just fell apart, and he got fired. Although he does have a championship with Miami, but that doesn't really count because Pat Riley was the coach, and he was just there. But we'll see where this goes. This season's been a disappointment after we got off to such a great start. But some good news around the corner, I feel like. So we'll see where the Pistons' future lies. So comment down below about the Reggie Jackson situation. I know a lot of you guys really hate Reggie. I don't know why you guys hate Reggie. But Mr. Big Shot should be coming back. I want to get your comments on that as well. Follow me on Twitter. Like the video, comment on it as well. All that mumbo jumbo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.